If you have a big mailing you'd like to send out, maybe you're wondering how to get all the names and addresses to a service that will do the mailing for you. This is much easier than you might think. There are only 4 steps. First, you design a query that identifies everyone to whom you would like to send the mailing. Then you run the query. You save the list of records returned by the query in a file, and you email or send the file to the mailing house. We'll start with designing a query. The most important step in designing a query is knowing which records you want the query to return. For example, maybe you want everyone in the Boston metropolitan area who has made a gift sometime in the past, but not this past year. So you want to design a query that returns a list of donors with Boston area zip codes whose last gift date was over a year ago. That includes names and addresses. Once you know which records you want returned, you can design your query. If you need help with this, we recommend watching the tutorial entitled Create a Query. To run your query, click the Query button on the Home tab and choose List Queries. Then select your query, open the Query tab, and click the Run button on the ribbon. ResultsPlus will display the list of records returned by your query. Now that you have your query results, you can export them. Open the Constituent tab to access list-related commands. You'll see a series of 3 export buttons on the ribbon. There are 3 export choices. You can export your list of records to a Microsoft Excel file, a text file, or a PDF file. There are advantages to each format. The format you choose will depend on what you've agreed to send your mailing house. They may require a text file, or they may accept one of the other formats. In this tutorial, we'll assume they have requested a text file, which is also known as an ASCII file. We'll click the Export to Text button on the ribbon. On the Export to Text screen, we'll tell ResultsPlus what to include and how to format the records in the file. The first option, Include Field Labels as First Row in File, enables you to add field names such as address name and address 1 to the top line of the file. The Create Barcode Data option enables you to add fund, campaign, and appeal codes in a printed barcode on your return mailing form. The Export Descriptions instead of Codes option lets you export descriptions, like Arizona, instead of codes, like AZ. The next 3 options tell ResultsPlus how to identify the fields and records in your data. If you select the Enclose Text and Quotation Marks option, ResultsPlus will put quotation marks around field values so that other software will recognize where field values start and stop. The Separate Each Field option lets you choose the character ResultsPlus uses to separate field values from each other in the file. You can choose between a tab character or a comma. The Separate Each Record option lets you choose the character or characters ResultsPlus uses to separate records from each other in the file. The default is CRLF, which stands for Carriage Return Line Feed. Finally, the Save Export As field tells ResultsPlus where to store your export file and what to name it. You can use the Browse button to navigate to a location and enter a file name. When exporting to text, ResultsPlus will automatically set the file type to .txt. When you're ready, click the Export button. ResultsPlus will display a message telling you that the export has been completed. With the settings we used, your text file should look something like this. Let's zoom in on a small chunk of it. Here are the field labels on the first line of the file. Note the quotation marks around field values. You can tell by the spacing that there are tab characters between fields. And each record starts on a new line. Now that you've run your query and exported the records, you're ready to send the file to your mailing house. They may ask you to email the file or upload it to a website. Or, if you're doing business with a local company, you might deliver the file on a USB flash drive or DVD. Make sure you save the query and the output file in case there are any questions or problems. This completes the tutorial on exporting a file for a mailing house.